Hello everyone. Let me turn down Kingdom Hearts music. Hope you all can hear me okay. Hello Sonic, hello David. Hope you both are doing well, and I hope everybody watching had a very happy Christmas, very happy holiday. If you guys got anything really cool for Christmas or a holiday, I'd love to know what you guys got. Hey Red Riot Robot, hey Richard. Hope you both are doing well. So this is going to be the final stream of the year, but I don't really, or the final bit of content for the channel for the year, because I have the first video for 2026 scheduled to come out, on New Year's Day, which is going to be the big annual Cream of the Crop video. What's funny is I tend to have a really bad habit of delaying the Cream of the Crop video for a few weeks into the new year, because I tend to write those very last minute, but I actually did something different this year where I wrote them pretty far in advance. So there was that, and so I was able to get the video done like way sooner than I normally do. So that will be coming on Thursday morning, the usual 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this stream is basically just going to be talking to you all, just talking about whatever you guys want to talk about, basically, maybe looking back on the year. I do specifically, before I start getting into the comments, I do want to talk about Vincent Pella, because this was a big story that happened this week, where, if you guys didn't know, Vincent Pella sadly died earlier this week in a car crash. And if you don't know who Vincent Pella was, he was a monumental figure within video games. He's basically considered one of the, I would say one of the, he along with Jason West, I would say are basically the godfathers of the modern first person shooter, where they along with, he along with Jason West and all their people at Infinity Ward when they first started that studio, they went to go work with Activision and make Call of Duty. And then Infinity Ward, of course, went on to work on Call of Duty 2, which is a great game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare original trilogy, which is legendary. Regardless of how you feel about Call of Duty now, those original 3 Modern Warfare games are awesome. They are iconic. They are so highly influential to our modern perceptions of first-person shooters, to the point where they basically buried Medal of Honor, which was the old king of the first-person shooters back then, and to the point where, and also Medal of Honor tried aping Call of Duty when they tried bringing it back in the early 2010s. And then he along with Jason West, they obviously had a falling out with Activision, and then they went to make Respawn, which, despite how I feel about the direction Respawn ended up going after Titanfall 2, you can't deny that Respawn has been a major success for, it's probably, I would say it's probably one of the only consistently good things under EA's umbrella. I'm really trying to think what other studios they have under their umbrella that have been consistently putting out hits like Respawn does. And even with Titanfall 2, which was not a hit, it was a big critical success. And that is one of my all-time favorite games. I adore Titanfall 2. So Vince Zampella was a major figure within the video games industry, and it's very sad what happened with his death. And there was one video I wanted to do this year that ended up getting scrapped just because I recorded it, but the examples that I used in the video were mainly relevant at the time that I recorded the video, and it included examples of games that had just come out. But then the video just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and then eventually, when there might have been a time where it could have been released, it just had too many examples that were already outdated. So I scrapped that. But my point in the video is I talk about how when it comes to, I hit the pop filter there. When video games are being made, everyone knows that the creatives are just maybe like half of the pie. The other half of the pie has to be management, project management. And without really good project management, the creative force is going to be completely hindered, and vice versa. I mean, you look at what's going on with Naughty Dog right now, where I think Naughty Dog just unfortunately has terrible management. They've had bad management for many years, but it's unfortunate that it seems to be still going on at Naughty Dog. With Intergalactic, you obviously have very bad managers at a lot of these other studios. Like Bethesda has terrible management, BioWare has horrible management, Bungie had horrible management. I mean, it's just all of these studios, unfortunately, just are hindered and held back creatively by these terrible managers. Vince Zampella, though, was a phenomenal project manager. I mean, you don't make multiple influential games without being a really good project manager. And I think he, along with Jason West, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You know, he left Infinity Ward, and then Call of Duty, after they left, really started to kind of slide downhill from that point on. And then they went and did Titanfall, which eventually did not work out, not because of their management, but because of just the general, I don't know, like EA shit that went into that, putting Titanfall 2, sandwiching it between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty not Advanced Warfare, the one that was in space, Infinite Warfare. So between those two, which sent that game out to die. And then Vince Zampella he is asked by EA to go save Battlefield after the back-to-back failures of Battlefield 5 and 2042. I think that's what the future one was called, 2042. And now you got Battlefield 6, which is a massive success. And he obviously did a great job steering that ship back in the direction that people seem to like. And sadly, now his talents will no longer be there for the industry. And before I start reading comments, and I apologize. Well, I apologize for staving off reading the comments for so long. I don't normally do it this long, but I wanted to talk about Vincent Pella off the rip. I think the thing that I liked the most about Vincent Pella was how direct he was. I think almost to a fault, to where it annoyed EA in the beginning. But the one thing I really liked, when my favorite moment with Vincent Pella was after Titanfall 2 came out and bombed financially. There was this interview where it was Vincent Pella and one of the PR speak people from EA. They were sitting together for a joint interview, and the interviewer asked the EA guy, or the two of them basically, and asked them, so what is the future of Titanfall? And the EA guy gave this typical PR speak nonsense answer. And then Vincent Pella, his response was basically he basically there was kind of this pause, this beat, and then Vincent Pella kind of goes, yeah, whatever the fuck that means. And he just said it flat out like that. And I think that kind of caught the EA guy off guard, because he kind of went, like you could tell in the interview, reading it or watching reading a transcript of it, kind of how nervous the other guy was, just kind of getting that kind of blunt of an answer. But I love Vincent Pella for saying that answer, because you could tell that he was very visibly frustrated with how EA treated Titanfall, because he left Activision to go to go set up his own shop and make Titanfall. And it's just so unfortunate that he is now gone, but his legacy is just crazy. I mean, he along again with Jason West. I don't want to discount Jason West's influence as well. He, along with Jason West, have basically shaped what the modern first-person shooter is. They played a massive, massive, massive hand in that. So I tip my hat to Vincent Pella. Rest in peace, good sir. Thank you for everything. Despite how where Call of Duty went, I have a lot of fond memories of the original Modern Warfare games. I played those all the time with friends, multiplayer, single player. I have so many good memories playing Modern Warfare 2, especially the multiplayer in that with friends. Titanfall 2, if you've followed my channel for a long time, that speaks for itself. That's one of my very favorite games. That's one of those rare games that made me stand up and give it a standing ovation when it was done. I rarely ever do that. That sounds so corny to be like, I stood up at my TV and gave something a standing ovation, but I did. I stood up at the end of Titanfall 2 and I clapped, because I was just so jazzed up by how fucking awesome that game ended up being, especially from somebody who I really dislike the original Titanfall. I thought that game was a massive waste of potential. There's actually a video on the channel, you could probably find it, from E3 2016, where they were showing off Titanfall. Or no, it wasn't a live reaction. I didn't do those back then, but it was a video where I talked about E3, and it was EA's time, me talking about it. I remember them talking about Titanfall 2 because they made this big fucking deal about it at their E3, and I went yeah, whatever, dude. Okay, fine. I was so dismissive. And then when the time came for the multiplayer, I played it and I was kind of yeah, okay, all right, whatever. And then when the game came out, people started saying how great the campaign was. And I went, what? And I remember seeing playing in the original Titanfall and thinking wow, this campaign sucks, because they tried to haphazardly combine it with multiplayer. Kind of like what Call of Duty, ironically, is now doing with Black Ops 7, where they're shoving in Warzone more and more into the single player campaign, or Warzone assets and that kind of shit. And I remember thinking, there's no way this campaign in Titanfall 2 is as good as people are saying it is. And it was even better than people said it was. I was floored by that campaign. That even today, that is still for me the first person shooter campaign to beat over the last 10 years. I mean, that campaign is incredible. Just perfectly paced. No filler missions. Every mission offers something unique. There's like great set pieces, great boss fights, really like fun character interactions between Jack and BT. The ending of the game actually, like, I don't want to spoil what happens, but like there's a specific moment where a character makes a decision that is like really like heartbreaking, and I had like genuine like emotion, like feelings in like the Titanfall world. And all these years later, it's like I'm still kind of in that like hopium space where like um I want them to do a Titanfall 3, but I know that's never going to happen, which is why it irritates me to see a lot of the talent from Respawn leave and then go make fucking Highguard, which I was doing I mentioned this in another video I actually just recorded that's going to be coming out later, but I did some research into Wildlight, looking into who specifically left Respawn to go work at the studio who's doing Highguard. And I saw that the lead writer from some of the best Call of Duty games, some of the most iconic Call of Duty missions, including No Russian from MW2, and then the writer of Titanfall 2, he is the creative lead at Wildlight for Highguard. And I'm like, oh no! Like when I found that out, when I found that out, my heart just sank. I mean, my heart sinking was probably so loud you guys could probably hear it. Just like, oh no, why? That's like if I found out like the writer of Expedition 33 left, um uh Expedition 33 left, and then she's like, I'm gonna go make a live service. It's like, oh no, why? 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 Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about Vincent Pella. Rest in peace. Legendary figure within the games industry. So let's get into. But I just wanted to say that right off the rip before I talked about other stuff. So rest in peace, Vincent Pella. So anyway, Sonic says, hi, Razorblade, long time no chat. It really has. What's up? Your thoughts on the awful plagiarizing AI art of Studio Ghibli in Black Ops 7 Razor? Gross or worse? I mean, there was already that AI trend that was going around with Studio Ghibli, where it was on Twitter, where people were taking images of themselves or family photos or whatever the hell they had, and basically getting AI programs to make Studio Ghibli versions of them. And I just thought that was grotesque, and I hated it. And it reminded me a lot. I mean, this is so like prophetic of Miyazaki, but there's a famous video where this Japanese AI startup company, this AI animation company, visited him at Studio Ghibli and showed him and Suzuki, who's the project manager over at Ghibli, and they showed him this AI animation of this like person / creature kind of like moving around on the ground, and it just looked like it was a very like prototype version of like AI animation that would probably have a much more advanced version of it now. This was back, I think, in like 2015, 2016, around that time. This was like quite a few years ago. And I don't know what was going through these guys' heads. Like who talked them into saying, you know, it would be a really good idea if you go take this AI art crap to hit it to, I almost said Hidetaka, Hayao Miyazaki, one of the most famous animators in the history of cinema, and tell him this is our program that is going to try to put you out of a job and try to make your art obsolete. Like, what the hell did you think was going to happen? And Miyazaki, just in his very typical grumpy Miyazaki fashion, he basically told them, this is an insult to life itself. Like, I hate this. He just like shut them down to the point where one of the guys on the team, the AI art team, that was the startup company, you could see he had tears in his eyes when Miyazaki was telling him this. And I was just like, holy shit, that's just brutal. I mean, Miyazaki is pretty brutal in general behind the scenes. He's a kind of a massive prick, but despite what a legendary figure he is. But I thought that prickery was actually like well deserved on that, because it's like, that is so stupid. Like, why would you go show Hayao Miyazaki an AI animation program? Like, why would you do what? That's like that's like showing Walt Disney, like, hey, here's this robot that's going to make your art and put you out of a job and basically make your art like not special at all. It's like, come on, man, you got to be kidding me. So, been doing fine lately, playing Contra 3 on Switch via the Contra Anniversary Collection. Oh, nice. Dear Santa, we've been good. We've done everything to be real good. I am Jewish, so happy Hanukkah for me, Razor. Oh, nice. Very, very nice. I got a D&D advent calendar for my aunt. Nice. What about a disappointment video, Razor? So, I thought about it. I actually did consider it this year, but there aren't really enough disappointments that I played fully this year. It would mainly just be three videos. It would mainly just be 3 games, which is just, unless I'm completely forgetting one, it's mainly just South of Midnight, Doom the Dark Ages, and Sword of the Sea. And I feel like I have talked about those 3 already at length on the channel, where I did I think the 2 in the catch-up video that I did, where I talked about multiple games. I think Sword of the Sea and Doom the Dark Ages were the longest entries on that list. And then I did a video about South of Midnight, where I just basically tore it a new asshole, outside of it being, having beautiful animation and music, which in my opinion go to waste because Compulsion is a really crappy studio. So for me to like bring back the disappointment stuff, it would have to be in a year where I've at least played like 5 noteworthy disappointments, and I mean, I hope not. I don't really see that happening anytime soon, because that would suck to like play 5 games and I'm like, oh man, this it's like a bummer. But I appreciate you asking about it, Sonic, because I know those are like videos I used to do, but I feel like I get enough of like, like talking critically about games already without doing that one. Got SeaWorld tickets for my birthday and Hanukkah gift. Nice. And money, as well as getting Switch One games. Cool. I bought myself the Tales of Xillia remastered for Switch. Nice. Is the Switch 2 library still... Oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Is the Switch 2 library still underwhelming 6 months into its lifespan? I would, in my opinion, despite how much I like Donkey Kong Bonanza, unless you really need to play some of these old Switch games at 60 frames, I would still say wait on the Switch 2. I mean, I feel like I've gotten my value out of it, obviously, because I got Mario Kart World, that's another one that I thought was disappointing. I guess that's 4. What was I guess? I got Donkey Kong Bonanza. I did not play Metroid Prime 4 because I just saw too many things that were coming out about that game, and I just went, nope. Like, I'm not going near this. I'm not going to spend $70 on this. Not when I'm hearing about chatty ass NPCs and then them dumbing the game down and removing music in the desert overworld unless it's like locked behind an amiibo until you play the game. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not spending $70 on this. I'd rather save that $70 for something that's coming out next year, like Requiem or Saros or something like that. Still convinced EA purposely killed Titanfall 2. People might call that a conspiracy theory, but I believe that 100% because it's just like you don't put a more niche first-person shooter between the two biggest first-person shooters on the market within like 2 weeks of each other. You just don't do that. It's just that's such a insane, moronic thing to do unless you are intentionally trying to sabotage it. Which, knowing EA and knowing how vindictive they can be, I would say them hindering Titanfall 2's chances definitely seems like something EA would do. I don't know why they would do it. I don't know why they didn't just delay Titanfall 2 to spring 2017, get it as far away from Call of Duty and Battlefield as humanly possible. Because to the average person who plays first-person shooters, what are you going to spend your $60 on at the time when they were $60? Are you going to spend it on Battlefield 1, Call of Duty, or Titanfall? Like, especially when the original, I don't know why EA did this as well. The stupid thing about the original Titanfall is that it was an Xbox exclusive. And it never came to PlayStation. So now you have this property, it's already niche first-person shooter. For the first time, a sequel is coming to PlayStation. And there's no way to play the first one on PlayStation. So a lot of normie people who probably don't realize that it's not necessary to play Titanfall to enjoy Titanfall 2. They're going to look at the 2 and go, why would I buy this when I can't even play the first one? It's not like Forza. It's not like you look at Forza Horizon 6 or Forza Horizon 5. That's like the first one to come to PS5. And that's like, oh, it's a car game. I need to play the first 4 Forza Horizons. It's like, no, it's totally not necessary whatsoever. So, oh, hey, Shinobi Gaming. How are you? To be honest, it's hard for me to have sympathy for the guy. He put people's lives at risk doing the high-speed stunt, and unfortunately it cost him his life along with a passenger. Sorry, but it's how I feel. Play stupid games with stupid prizes. I don't know if that was meant for the first comment, but I understand where you're coming from, Shinobi. I can't go like, how dare you be insensitive. I can't say that because it is something that is like, it could have been completely preventable. This is not a situation like other celebrity deaths that have happened just this month alone, where they're just like really tragic circumstances. This could have been entirely preventable, and I completely agree with that. I do have sympathy for the guy because it's like you never really know, but I have more sympathy towards the other guy and the other guy's family and Vincent Pella's kids. I think he's got 3. He had 3 kids, I think. But I completely understand where you're coming from, Shinobi. I feel like anyone going, like, if they see a comment like yours and then going, how dare you say something like that? I think that is being completely insincere and just, like, blocking out the reality. You can still mourn Vincent Pella's loss while also recognizing that what he did was incredibly stupid. I think the two things can be true at once. So, hey, Sonic. Sorry you're late. No, you're good. Would you say this year was the worst year for Xbox in the history of their company? Everything is getting ported. Game Pass prices increase. Xbox consoles are $700, and the new Xbox is going to be $1,000. Fuck, I hope not. But yeah, I mean, I've gone. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about Xbox because I've talked about them a lot this year. There's a lot of Xbox material on the channel this year. But I would argue maybe 2013 was the worst year for Xbox. Because Xbox is still making, how do I want to put this? Xbox's software is still like successful and they're still releasing games. 2013 Xbox though, that was like existential crisis, actually might die, like Microsoft might shut it down kind of moment, where Xbox was already not doing great at the beginning of 2013, and then you had the Edward Snowden thing happen with Microsoft, where it was revealed that Microsoft's probably spying on you. So then you had that line up with in 2013 with Xbox having the Kinect on, like having to force the Kinect onto the Xbox One and spy on you and listen to you, and like that was just the worst optics possible at the time. And then you had the infamous Xbox presentation where all they said was, which was just TV, 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 TV. And then you had the E3, which they showed. I don't know how people can say that E3 presentation was good. I went back and I watched it actually a few months ago. And I was watching it and I'm like, man, this presentation it's just like, you get Rise Son of Rome, which ended up not being all that good. You had the fucking what was it? What was the one Kinect Sports, something that like barely worked, and it was made by Rare. You had, what is it? You had what was the other Xbox One launch game? Not Quantum Break, that came later, which I didn't like. There was like another one that was announced. I think they ended it with Titan. I think they began with Call of Duty. Oh no, they began with Phantom Pain, because that was like the one time at the time Xbox got Kojima on their stage to just hawk Metal Gear Phantom Pain, and then Phantom Pain was shown off on PlayStation stage the next year. They said Sunset Overdrive. That's right, which I think it's one of the worst games I've played this like the last 15 years. Like I do not understand why people like Sunset Overdrive. I don't get it. I hate that game so much. But yeah, it's just a very like weak kind of like presentation. And then the kill shot at the end of the presentation is Phil Spencer coming out and saying that it's going to be $499.99. It's like and they did nothing at the thing to address the DRM, the forced DRM. Oop. Sorry about that. Forgot to silence my phone. But it was like the force DRM, the Kinect being attached to it, $500 price point, and then of course coupled with PlayStation's like iconic legendary E3 press conference where they just proceeded to like throw Xbox into the dirt and kick them in the face over and over and over and over again. And it was very funny to watch, in my opinion, at least. Like, it sounds petty, but that presentation at the time was so funny to watch because I had a lot of people make fun of me throughout middle school and high school. That's like, why are you buying Gay Station? Why don't you buy Xbox? It's like, I want to buy PS3. I want to get God of War 3 and like that, and then like all that shit. I don't want to buy games that are on like fucking 3 or 4 discs like on Xbox. I just want to buy like one Blu-ray disc on PlayStation. So and then like Xbox came out and just like shot themselves in the foot, and I could see all these Xbox fans like, oh no. So I would say 2013 was 2013 was a worse year for Xbox. That was just like one bad thing after another without the financial success. At least this year, as like horrible as it's been for Xbox, they've still released like, I guess they've done things somewhat at some points that were successful. I don't think 2013 had one noteworthy success for Xbox. Like, I really don't, now that I think about it. ViewTech USA hypocrisy, complaining about 720p or 900p rendering and then upscaling in 8th gen for Battlefield 4, yet he is okay. PS5, Xbox Series systems upscaling double standards much. Well, I mean, that was Rich at the time. I don't really know what the hell he talks about now because I don't watch him, but that guy is the guy is a moron. I mean, he's a lolcow for a reason. He's a moron. I got to switch to. Oh, nice, awesome. I'd say it's the worst for Xbox fans. Yes, I would agree with that. This has been. I will. If you would ask me, Shinobi, if this, you say the worst year for Xbox fans, I would actually say the last few years have been the worst time for Xbox fans because they have just had to some of the worst ones have just had to like, I don't know, just like bend themselves into like a pretzel and like, I don't know, it's almost like something out of 1984 where they have to just like in order to appease the big brother and Xbox's big brother in their eyes, they have to just push all of the like the anti-Xbox thoughts and like resentment out of their heads and then scream louder at the adoration for Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond and Matt Booty and all these all like their brand ambassadors. It's so cringe inducing to watch. I mean, it's just there was I know I'm not going to name who, but one of the more prominent Xbox podcasts has a member on it who I am convinced that if Xbox were to come to his house and, I don't know, punch him in the face, stab his dog, burn his possessions, kick him out on the street, and render him homeless and dogless, he would basically still love Xbox and go to bat for them. That is like, that sounds extremely hyperbolic, and it is, especially the dog killing part, but that's like the level of like Xbox fanboy delusion that I've seen from this person. Where anytime Xbox does something horrible, this person tries spinning it in a way that just makes it sound like Xbox is playing like 4D chess and they know what they're doing, and it's like Xbox is thinking 10 steps ahead, and it's like, no, dude, Xbox is still just being a total dipshit. It's just like you are so you have Xbox's balls down your tonsils so deeply that it's like you just can't. It's like it would physically pain this person. It's like I don't know how many of you have seen A Clockwork Orange, but in A Clockwork Orange, the main character, who's also like a psychopath, murdering, raping psychopath, he goes through this thing called the Ludovico treatment, where he is conditioned to feel intense pain whenever he has violent urges, or he's not allowed to like, he can't physically like commit acts of violence. He can't touch a woman's breasts at one point. He can't fight back when he's getting beaten by homeless people. And I feel like this person has like the Ludovico, Alex from A Clockwork Orange thing, where anytime it's like he has a thought about or an action about criticizing Xbox, it's like he gets this physical revulsion and then just like slinks back into his shell and then just double, triple, quadruples down on everything. Like, please, like it's like those people that would like when it's like when Kim Jong Il died. I think it's Kim Jong Il was his dad. When Kim Jong Il died, you see these people in the streets that North Korea has been like oppressing for generations, just throwing themselves in this hysterical fit over their dear leader dying. And that is how I see this person when it comes to Xbox. So anyway, I mean, if you look hard enough in the Xbox influencer sphere, you could probably find out who I'm talking about, but I don't want to give, you know what I mean? I don't want to like point you to that person and then not that I like think you guys are going to go do that, brigade this person's live stream, but there are, and it's not the only person that does this in the Xbox sphere. And to be honest, like, and just to be completely fair, there are people like this in the PlayStation sphere that when you criticize PlayStation, they will like fucking do like Neo from the Matrix, bending back and dodging bullets to try to like make PlayStation look as favorable as possible. Like when the whole like Concord thing was happening, I've seen people be like Concord was actually a big success for PlayStation because it showed that they can do. It's like, buddy, stop. Like, just stop. So, hey, Menace, how's it going? Great to see you. Great to see you too, man. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget Dawn by the Xbox 360 metric. Man nearly I can't talk. Man nearly killed Xbox. Bet PlayStation sent him a plaque for best PlayStation spokesperson in 2013. Dude, I mean, I know he left Xbox that year to go fuck up Zynga, but that man was like the ultimate PlayStation sleeper cell. Just, I don't know what code word PlayStation fed him, but man, that guy did the best promotion for the PS4 that like PlayStation could not buy the promotion for PS4 that Don Matrick did. I mean, just holy shit. Do you feel like Satya Nadella is killing Xbox? Yes, because he wants to turn Xbox into Microsoft gaming. He wants to basically turn it into this like Microsoft Windows 365, Microsoft Office kind of thing. He basically just wants to make it yet another app that Xbox or that Microsoft has under their control. That seems to be like the end game of this, where they want to be like, they want to basically make it like the hardware is a major luxury item. Like already consoles are a luxury item these days with how fucking expensive they are. But Xbox, it seems like, is dead set on just being like, these are going to be $1,000 and you will like it. They're going to turn them into like the Game Pass machine, where, and the only reason, which I know I've said this before, but you know, there is a logical answer to this, which why are they even bothering to make a new console, is that they have to, because there's a lot of backwards compatibility in there. Like if they were not to make another console, people would be stuck playing on the Series X and S with their library, and their library wouldn't transfer over to other things because Windows wouldn't be able to take all of the Xbox games. The Play Anywhere initiative doesn't have all Xbox games. So it would just be a massive disaster for them. It's almost like they're forced to make a new console, but they're going to make this console as expensive as possible. They're like, they are not interested in taking a loss on this thing. And I mean, you're going to get people that go like, well, PlayStation 6 is clearly going to, it's like, yeah, because PlayStation, for all their problems, thankfully, are still in the business of like, we need to get these consoles out the door. We need people to buy them so they can spend more money. We need to get this. We need to get the hardware. Like the hardware is the big thing for them. And until that day comes to where they have some other avenue of getting their games out there, the console is going to be the most important thing to them. That is no longer the case with the Xbox anymore, unfortunately, because they feel like, they feel like Game Pass and the turning Xbox basically into this Microsoft-owned app is kind of the thing that's gonna be the new thing for them, the new guiding light for them and their business. Some water real quick. I'm still thinking of getting a PS5 specifically because I've had my PS4 for 11 years and it's showing its age. I mean, yeah, that's a good time to get a new console. Like, and I would say, you know, unlike the Switch 2, I would say that PS5 just, I think it has a great library as far as like PlayStation made games. They're not, it's unfortunate just not all of them are exclusive to PS5 because, you know, I think just Astrobot and trying to think what else has been exclusive. There's Gran Turismo 7, Demon's Souls Remake, Astro's Playroom, Astrobot, Destruction All Stars, which which if you're buying a PS5 for Destruction All Stars, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Ghost of Yotes, that's only there right now, but that's coming to PC eventually. Death Stranding 2 is coming to PC, so it's mainly only really like Astrobot, Gran Turismo 7, Demon's Souls, and Astro's Playroom, i.e. a lot of the Japanese stuff. But I think the PS5 still, like, even if you include some of like the cross-gen and stuff that's on PC, I think it is still worth it in my opinion. But I wouldn't buy it at like $600. I'd wait until there's another like sale to get it then, David. And don't get a Pro. Like don't buy a Pro. Not when the PS6 is coming, like, and the PS5 Pro just has too many issues to where I can like recommend that at like $750, something stupid like that. When it runs and makes games look worse than the base PS5, you've got a big problem. Get it sorted out. Haven't heard much from the Xbox side, but Nintendo had quite the bad year. Yeah, I would say Nintendo. I don't know about a bad year, but I would say they had a year where I saw them in an even like a worse light compared to what I did like even a couple years ago, where Nintendo, unfortunately, and I say this unfortunately, the one thing they are really, really good at is making good games. Like their big premiere stuff like Zelda and Mario and Donkey Kong and Animal Crossing, like all that stuff, I really, really enjoy. And the only way you can do it is get a Switch. That's the only way you can experience them. Um, I would say they more had like the lead up to the Switch 2 was bad. That's really like the announcement of the Switch 2's like features and the bad stuff that came after that April presentation and the run up to the Nintendo Switch 2. But the thing that I said, and the reason that like I wasn't upset with Nintendo and I wasn't going to pretend that I was, is because I've seen this song and dance before from people where they like cry and complain about Nintendo, and then they're like, "Oh, Nintendo, it's drop the price," and spamming drop the price in the chat. And it's like, you guys are still gonna buy it anyway. Like, spare me, like spare me the thing, like spare me, like spare me, okay? I'm I just like I've reached a point covering stuff on this channel where I see people get mad at things, but there's no follow through on like a number of things, you know. As like bad as Black Ops 7 is, it's still going to be one of the highest grossing games of the year. If there really was this like massive outrage over it, it's like the thing that bothers me is that it's actually quite easy for gamers to kind of like bend the industry to how they see fit. The problem is that they are just too, I don't know. It's like they have this compulsion to just buy anyway. There's a lot of people that like they go online and they'll complain about things and they'll talk shit, and yet you'll see them, they still like will buy the products. If you just, what would happen if like half the audience of Call of Duty said, "I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to spend money. I'm not going to spend money for a bad experience." If even like half of the people did not buy Black Ops 7, that would be a massive, massive blow to I almost said EA, to Activision, to Xbox. If people really did not like the things that Nintendo were doing, just it's so simple. Do not buy a Switch 2. Do not buy their games. And yet these are the same people that then turn around and they go, "Well, I'm gonna go buy more amiibos. I'm gonna go buy Super Mario Galaxy for the second time in HD." It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like just have some restraint. Just have some restraint. And like, this sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but like when I see something that I really, really dislike, I don't then like run out and spend my money on it. This is why I didn't complain about the Switch 2, because I knew damn well, or at least like the part of it that would be like a deal breaker, because it wasn't. The price was not my problem. Like I did not have a problem with the Switch 2's price. I did not have a problem with certain games being $80. I have a problem with Mario Kart World being $80 because I don't think it's worth $80 now that I played it. But I couldn't complain too much because I personally got it from the bundle. So I felt like for me, it would have been disingenuous for me to complain about Nintendo's prices and all that, and then turn around and say, "But I'm going to buy it anyway." Because I saw so many people bitch and whine and complain about the Switch 2, and then at the end of it, they go, "Yeah, but I'm still going to buy it." You have people like what's the puppet's name? That one like Muppet that covers Nintendo. I always forget the blue Muppet. He talks about how like, "Man, this sucks. Nintendo's bad. This is lame." And then he goes, "But I'm still gonna buy the Switch 2." It's like, then why the fuck? Why are you complaining? Like, why are you complaining? I see these people. Wow, the Switch 2. Nintendo's getting cooked, bro. Nintendo's getting cooked in the comments. Look, everybody, look, Nintendo is doing bad things. But I'm still gonna go buy the Switch 2 because it's Nintendo. It's like, okay, so then they're gonna keep doing it then. if you don't give your money to things that you dislike, there is a chance that you can make a change. I mean, fuck, look at Arlo, that's right. Thank you, Red Riot Robot. You have Dragon Age the Veilguard when that came out. People did not en masse buy that. Very obviously, despite the narrative that people want to spin that it was like a big success in the beginning, that game fucking tanked. And look what happened. You had mass layoffs at BioWare. You had EA like nope, Dragon Age, nope, not happening anymore. So you got what you wanted, and all it took was some restraint. Hopefully you got some positive change at BioWare. I have my doubts that that's going to happen because BioWare is a fucking disaster and a shell of what they used to be. And they haven't made a good game in like Mass Effect 3, I would argue, was the last time they made anything of real consequence. But it's like, just show some restraint. Just stop bitching online and just, you know how you can make more of an impact? Don't buy things. Like stop bitching online and just don't buy the products. If I see something I don't like, I'm not going to then run out and go buy it. You know? Like some of the things that they've done, like when Aspyr did that like botched Battlefront 1 and 2 collection. Like I love Battlefront 1 and 2. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 are like two of my favorite games growing up. When I saw what was going on with that game, and especially because I have a lot of like heavy skepticism, I think justifiably so, towards Aspyr, I didn't run out and buy it. I didn't care that it was I didn't care that it was Battlefront. I'm like, I'm not gonna go spend my money on this. I'm not gonna go reward them for taking like a hatchet to these two beloved games that I grew up with. Like I don't have this like brand mentality where it's like I have to go buy the thing. So I don't know. I've spent a long time on that. It just bothers me. Like it's so exhausting to see people like bitch and whine and complain about stuff, and then they turn around and buy it anyway. It's like, okay, like, cool. So let's see. Where the hell was I on the chat? I feel like I'm going off for a while. Oh, there we go. And of course, Neo 3, Onimusha Way of the Sword, very tempting to get, as well as Metaphor, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. I do want to get Onimusha, but I might wait for that one. I definitely recommend Metaphor and Expedition 33, obviously. I need to finish Metaphor up, but I haven't. I let a friend of mine borrow it because I just wasn't playing it for a while. But you know what's funny is like a few weeks after I let my friend borrow it, I was like, fuck, now I really want to play Metaphor. And I don't have the disc. Damn it. I don't think he's playing it either because he was playing something. I'm trying to remember what he was last playing, but it definitely wasn't my copy of Metaphor. He wouldn't go John Wick. No, he wouldn't. He would be like if John Wick looked at Vigo and was like, "Oh, thank you for shooting my puppy, Vigo. I really appreciate it. You're such a great guy." That blind, huh? Yeah, pretty much. I don't know about blind, just like willfully ignorant. Like, there's a difference between being blind and then putting on like the blindfold yourself. You can plead ignorance in that case if you're blind. Like, I'm probably ignorant of like big like if there was some like big controversy going on in like a game sphere that I have no familiarity with, that's at least like ignorance. That's being blind in a sense of like I literally don't know what this is all about. But if I look at something going on that I am familiar with and I try to like justify it, then it's like willful ignorance, willful blindness. I would say that this person does willful blindness to Microsoft and Xbox. He's just trying to get a job with Xbox. Newsflash: they're not hiring you, bro. They'll take a picture with the guy. I'll say this. I'll give you a clue as to who it might be. There is a picture of this person standing on a stage with Aaron Greenberg preaching to a crowd about the wonders of Xbox. I'll give you a hint as to who it is. I'll say that much. To borrow from my own neck of the asylum, he went full Halu delusional. I don't know what that's referring to, Menos, but I'll take your word for it. PlayStation 6 might be around $900. Honestly, at this point, with like the fact that how uncontested, what is it? How uncontested? Fuck, this is like, there comes a time where it's like I have like a brain fart, and I like totally forget Sony, like the name Sony. So there's a chance that Nintendo, fuck hell, there's a chance that this is part, like if I was recording a video, this is something that I would edit out, but I am live, so fuck it, y'all get to hear my mistakes. So PlayStation is going to go uncontested in like the casual console market, unfortunately, so they might be able to get away with $900 bucks, but people would still buy it. But again, people would bitch and complain, but they would still fucking buy it. Now, if PlayStation, I'll say this, if PlayStation were to come out with like, hey, Razorblade, we're going to give you literally everything that you want with the PS6. We're going to give you Sly Cooper, like a really great new Sly Cooper game. We're going to give you Bloodborne 2. We're going to give you Rogue Galaxy sequel from Level 5. You get Dragon Quest 8 HD exclusively on PS6. You're going to get the revival of... Oh, you'll get the next Astrobot. You'll get the next Astrobot, and it'll be even better than the last one. I hate to tell you guys, but I would spend $900 to get that. I would do it. But they have to work for it. They can't just go, here's PS6. And it's like, great, what's it come with? Comes with this rock that I made. Doesn't this rock look nice? It's like, no, I'm not going to spend $900 for a rock. It'd be stupid. You get to play your games. You get to replay God of War Ragnarok at 120 frames per second. So? I don't care. You get to play Astrobot at 8K. It's like, no. I love Astrobot. I adore Astrobot. I'm not spending $900 to play Astrobot in 8K, my guy. That's not happening, sir. No. You got to give me the shit that I want. Like, the real reason that and this is the thing that bothers me. It's like, well, exclusives are a bad thing for this industry. Bitch, do you know what got me to buy a Switch 2? Do you want to know why I wanted a Switch 2? Donkey Kong Bonanza. You can't get Donkey Kong Bonanza on a Switch 1. Can't get it on a PC. You can't get it on Xbox. You can only get it on the Switch 2. So how do I play Donkey Kong Bonanza? I get a Switch 2 because exclusives do matter. You stupid fuck. So fucking tired of hearing this shit. Oh, and by the way, I hate to keep going back to this fanboy, this mysterious Xbox fanboy. This is another person that also says that narrative. That, like, once Xbox... Like, this person was all aboard the exclusive train when they were buying up Bethesda and Activision. Literally on the train at the front with the conductor pulling the whistle. Whoop, whoop, you exclusives, baby. And then when Xbox started porting their exclusives to PlayStation, it's like complete 180 turn. Exclusives are bad for this industry. It's like Phil Spencer gave him the script and said, here, my stupid pleb servant, here you go. Here's your script. Now you will preach how bad exclusives are. Oh, yes! Yes, Phil Spencer, I will do that. Same fucking line that all these Xbox people do. If you told Halo Reach fans in 2010 that Halo would come to PlayStation one day, they would punch you in the face and defend Halo's glory. And I would be one of those people. Like, I was never like a mega Xbox fan, but if you told my like 15, 14-year-old self that Halo would be coming to PlayStation one day, I wouldn't believe you. Like, I'd love to go back in time and take myself, like 13, 14-year-old self, or no, maybe a little older when I was like more in like my PlayStation annoying fanboy age era. I would take that person, bring them into the future, and show them like, hey, because even when I was like in my big Halo fanboy, or sorry, when I was in my big PlayStation fanboy era, I still loved the original Halo trilogy. Still like had a great fondness for that and Halo Reach as well, because I played Forge all the time with my best friends in Halo Reach. Loved it. I was actually hanging out with one of my best friends who I used to game with. He was visiting in town. He's still here. I was hanging out with him on Christmas Day for breakfast, and we were reminiscing about how like his house used to be like the hotspot for like our group of friends, because it was just easy and his parents didn't care. So we would go over to his place and like we were talking about like playing Halo. We were talking about playing like Gears and taking turns playing like Oblivion and Fallout 3 and Crackdown, Rainbow Six, Vegas, like all the good shit back in the day. And yeah, those are some good fucking times. Good evening. Hello, XYZ. How are you doing? I'm definitely gonna go for a regular disc model. Good. Excellent. Good man. Oh damn, I lost my train of thought on the comments again. Nintendo had a bad PR year and a decent launch year. Yes, I would say that. It slowed at the end of the year sales-wise, but they are doing fine. Wii U poisoned me so bad I just stopped buying Nintendo myself. I wouldn't blame you, because I didn't really play on Nintendo all that much outside of buying, and this is for people who don't know this, who are coming into the stream who don't know the long history of the channel. I bought a 3DS specifically for Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. That was really the last time that I bought a Nintendo product, because I never owned a DS, I never owned a Wii, I never owned a Wii U. The only reason I was able to play a lot of the games from that era is because I had friends who owned the Wii or owned the Wii U. Like I was able to play like Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword and like some of the Nintendo games from back then, because like mooching off of my friends basically. It wasn't until the Switch that I played, and again, exclusives matter, because the reason that I bought a Switch was to play Super Mario Odyssey. Even to this day, the only way you can buy Super Mario Odyssey is on a Switch console. No PC, no PlayStation, no Xbox, no fucking Ouya, or one of these other stupid consoles. No. Nintendo. Exclusives matter, people. Get it through your heads. So, but that was the only reason I wanted to buy a Switch, and then I got back into Nintendo because I adored the Switch. I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite consoles. I said many times in the run-up to the Switch 2, Switch 2 could literally just be the exact same thing as the Switch 1 and just have a bit more power, and I would still buy it. Basically what it ended up being, because I don't use any of the other fucking features that are on it. I don't give a shit about chat. I don't care about hooking my camera up to have my face be in Super Mario Party or any crap like that. I don't care about any of that crap. All I want to do with the Switch is just sit my ass down on my chair in the living room, play games. That's all I want to do. I don't care about social features or any crap like that. Don't care. And that's what the Switch 2 is. Like, Switch 2. Still go out to my living room, play Animal Crossing. I play Balatro. I'm currently going through Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Go out into the living room and play it on my Switch. I would say the entire time I've owned a Switch, I've only used it on like the docked mode 5% of the time. Other 95% of the time is playing in handheld, because that's just what I do. I just want to buy it. I just want to play stuff portably, because that's like a console that has gotten me back into portable gaming. But I'm not in a mood to really go buy like a Steam Deck or a PlayStation Portal, or what was that stupid one that Xbox did that was like 1,000? The Asus ROG Ally or something. The one that I still have heard like the UI is all fucked up on that thing. I guess. But I would say Red Riot Robot. It's like, I know you felt burned from the Wii U era, but I feel like Nintendo, as far as the games, have redeemed themselves for like that the faults of that era, because that was a bad era for Nintendo. That was like a really bad era. I've seen disc copies of Black Ops 7 recently go to $25 at places like Best Buy and GameStop. Game has been out for a month. Oof, man, that's bad. Because what's so funny is Activision, before they were acquired by Xbox, they were like so stingy about the prices for the Call of Duty games, where they would like very rarely ever go on sale. They were like Nintendo, where they're like, you're gonna buy our games at full price or you're not gonna buy them at all, bitch. And Black Ops 7 is the one that I've seen where they're really starting to like decrease the price, to be like, please get back in. Because I think what their ultimate game is them to try to get people in more cheaply with the like the entry fee, and then hope they spend money on microtransactions in the shop. I don't know, buy one of those shitty AI generated banners that they put into the game. They're like, $25 for you to for this dumbass to buy like three $20 AI generated Studio Ghibli banners. That's worth it for us. Making the game $25 at the door. They should practice what they preach. No, exactly. Only reasons people play Black Ops 7 is because it's on Game Pass. I mean, people unfortunately did buy it objectively on PC and PS5, but now I get what you mean, because Xbox, they have basically made it easy for their customer. Not well, they have to pay more now because of the stupid restructuring of Game Pass, but they've basically devalued Call of Duty in this like bid to try to increase subscriber numbers, and it's really just blown up in their face, especially when the last the last few Call of Duty games like Modern Warfare 3, the new Modern Warfare 3, and now Black Ops 7 just man, just wow, what a like anyone who believed that Microsoft was going to allow Call of Duty to take a year off really is naive, because that is their cash cow. There is no fucking way they were going to liberate Call of Duty's developers from the mines, the year-round mines, in order to like say, hey, take a year off, don't worry about it. Nope. That's their thing. That's what they do. That's how you keep the Call of Duty machine running. You can't take a year off. You have to keep them in there. You have to take stuff that obviously should have been DLC and make it into a full game. You throw half-assed, half-baked, even saying half-assed I think is being generous to Black Ops 7, 1/10 baked ass games like Black Ops 7, and just throwing them out there and just being like, yeah, $70, bitch, take it or leave it. And thankfully a lot of people this year were like, nope, I'm leaving it, because we have other options. This is like maybe the first year in a long time where Call of Duty has had actual competition, and it really just shows negatively on them, where they had Battlefield 6 and they had Arc Raiders, and that just like really just, man, that just like did such a blow to Call of Duty. Like I never thought I'd see a day where a game from what's the studio that did Arc Raiders in the finals? I want to say Ember Lab, but I know that's Embark. I think it's Embark. That I would see a day where a game from Embark would actually be competition for Call of Duty, which is crazy to me. But that's just, I don't know, man. That's how public perception is manipulated. That's how live services go. Live services are like throwing dice on a table while a giant gust of wind is blowing in your face. It's like you never know what is going to manipulate the dice and how they're going to turn. So I think that was one of the things that PlayStation foolishly tried to do with their live service initiative, at least like the initial version of it, where they wanted to turn making live services into some kind of formula for success. And it's like, that is not how live services work. Like, that's just, you can't manufacture like continuous live services hits. That's just not a thing that's going to happen. And they like foolishly tried to do that, and it just didn't work. So until there's a more substantial library for the Switch 2, I plan on waiting a while. No, it's good. That's a good thing. Pricing and the technical stuff, like their key cards, were main problems for the Switch 2. I would say the key cards are the thing that I find the most irritating, even as somebody who has mainly adopted digitally, who rarely does physical unless there's like a good reason for me to. Like getting the steelbook, the really beautiful steelbook cover for Silent Hill F that I got from GameStop. I'll do it if a beautiful steelbook cover is involved, and it's a game that I was going to buy anyway. But I've seen now that Nintendo is starting to dip their toe more into making keycard exclusive games if they're going to be releasing them, quote, physically unquote, which is not a real physical release, like the Pokemon Pokopia, I believe is only going to be a keycard game, which to me flies in the face of some of the defense that some of these Nintendo people have been running, where they go, well, it's just third parties. Only third parties do it. Nope. Nintendo's going to start doing it too, because Nintendo's going to realize that they can save money on doing keycards. And when a big multi-million-dollar game corporation finds a way to save money, oh, you bet your ass they're going to run towards that method as fast as possible to try to cut costs down, especially these days. But people like drama and being negative. Yep. PS5 Pro is a highway robbery on top of a highway robbery. I wouldn't go that far. I just think it's a console that has not shown its outside of a few games, it has not shown its potential, because it just has too many problems when adopting third-party games. There's only been a few third-party games that have actually taken advantage of the PS5 Pro properly. It's mainly the first-person studios, or not. It's mainly the God damn it! It's mainly the first-party studios, like Sucker Punch. You look at Ghost of Yotei running at like 60 frames with ray tracing on PS5 Pro, and it looks amazing. You have Death Stranding 2 running on PS5 Pro, looks amazing. Trying to think of some other third-party games that have actually done PS5 Pro well. I know there are a few, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, there are more bad examples with it though, unfortunately, especially under like Konami is one that's like, what the fuck? And then you have it's mainly like UE5 games as well that seem to be the problem. There's just a lot of weird image shimmer. I almost said shitter. Weird image shimmer that happens with third-party games that are UE5. Like Silent Hill F was one of them. Metal Gear was one of them. There's just like quite a few that's like, why did you buy a PS5 Pro? Like, if it's gonna run like this, it's just like, what a giant waste of money. Our Silent Hill 2 remake is also one of them that looks noticeably worse on PS5 Pro, which is strange. I think I also blame that upscaling tech they have built into the PS5 Pro, which is the PSSR, I think it's called. I think they're gonna release like PSSR 2.0 sometime in 2026. Because they want to get it in a better condition before they shove it into PS6, which it's like, I don't really like the idea of that. Like Sony's like native upscale AI upscaling technology being built into the console, and there's no way to turn it off. If a game comes out and it has like weird image shimmer in it, that would just suck. Like if KH4 came out when the PS6 was a thing, and it's like I'm running around in Quadratum and there's just like all this like shimmering on all the different textures, like that would be so distracting. That was just, I know people would probably look at that and go, what's the big deal? It is a big deal. I don't want to run around a game world and constantly see like weird texture and light shimmering on all different objects, no matter like what distance I am away from them. It's really distracting. So let's see, and Dragon Age Inquisition only focus on games / software you'll like. I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition, yeah, I get that's true. That I personally greatly dislike Inquisition, but I will recognize that it was a success for BioWare. But beyond that, nope. Like, nope. On PS5. I don't know what that was referring to, sorry. Capcom has like 4 games coming out next year. Dude, Capcom just what are the 4? It's obviously Resident Evil, Onimusha, Pragmata. What's the 4th one? I'm trying to think, because I know Mega Man is coming out 2027. And then have they announced anything else? I'm trying to remember. That isn't like a collection or something. I think I can only think of those 3 right now, unless I'm missing something big. But I think Capcom, just as far as like quantity next year, just holy shit. I mean, And it's like it's not like the same game either. It's like 3 unique games from mechanical like gameplay standpoint, where you have Resident Evil, you have Onimusha, and then you have like trying something different with Pragmata, which looks weird. They have a demo out for it on PC. I need to try it at some point, but I'm not fully sold on what they're trying to do with Pragmata because I need to actually play it myself and see how they're going to incorporate the puzzle solving element into the combat and have how I feel about that being as persistent as it's going to be. So I think I need to try that demo out, and then hopefully from there I'll get a better idea of what they're trying to do with Pragmata, because every time I see gameplay it looks like one of those like old like tube puzzles from BioShock, but it's in the middle of combat. That's kind of the vibe that I get from it. Or like one of those like stupid circuit puzzles from the first Insomniac Spider-Man games. It looks like something like that. But hopefully it's fun. I'll when I actually play the Pragmata demo and check it out, I'll report back and see what's up. But I'm definitely looking forward to Ari Requiem, which looks good. I'm definitely curious about Onimusha. Hopefully that's really good because I would like Onimusha to come back. And it looks good from everything that I've seen of it. At least the upcoming Mega Man game for 2027 is not rushed like Skull Island Rise of the Kong. God, I would hope not. That was about the fanboy you talked about earlier. Oh no, yeah, I knew you were talking about Venos. Sony has no competition really. Combined with GPU and DR and RAM prices will make the PS6 price absurd. Yeah. Yeah. Sony basically have, I mean, I would want them to think of Nintendo as their competition, or at least like as far as making games goes. But Nintendo, they're still kind of doing their own thing, and then PlayStation, they're so arrogant that I maybe even at least like I'll give PlayStation credit. At least they're like trying to get back into the Japanese market. It's not really working out for them because they've been out of it for so damn long with how expensive PlayStation products are over there. But they're making an effort. It's better than nothing. I just want them to release more like weird Nintendo like shit like Astrobot. I would like for them to do more things like that. Less things like goddamn Lego Horizon Adventures, like which I recently played and was just like, what the fuck is this? Like how dare they charge the same amount of money at launch for this that they did for Astrobot? That's like that should be illegal to charge make people pay $60 for Lego Horizon Adventures. What a fucking ripoff. Let's see. How about backwards compatibility with PS3? Oh wait, their cell processor. Well, they just need to get their. I don't know what the hell they've been doing all these years. They need to get their head out of their ass and actually figure out a way to get PS3 games natively. Like I don't know how the hell some studios have been able to figure it out. Especially like getting God of War 3 over to PS4 and some other like Last of Us, they were able to do that. But it's like I don't know what the hell they're doing. They need to get their head out of their ass and figure out how to do that. It's so annoying. There's so many good PS3 games that are just stuck on that console. Like nobody fucking doing anything about it. It's really annoying. There's like some people that like it's more like modders have tried to make, PS3 games like run on PS4 and PS5. But it's like how can modders do this when it's like PlayStation just can't? Like there's no excuse by this point that we don't have some of the older like classic PS3 PlayStation games available on PS4 or PS5. It's absurd. Yuka Replay is what Yooka-Laylee from what I heard. Oh, you mean like what like what Yooka-Laylee was meant to be? I think that's what you're saying, Sonic. That's what I've heard as well, but I mean, if it's like really, really cheap in the future, I'll give it a try, but it's just not. It's not something I'm really in a rush because I tried ukulele when it first came out. Like I, you guys know me, where it's like my whole thing was like you get like one first impression with me, and if you really fuck that up, especially if you make me look stupid to where like I was really like a big vocal believer in a project, and then it comes out and then it just is like, oh, hey, it sucks, and I just look dumb, then I'm really not in a mood to give you another chance, especially when you ask for money from your community with ukulele and you delivered a really crappy game, in my opinion. I feel like that itch has already been kind of scratched with the release of that Banjo-Kazooie fan-made level in Dreams, which I actually re-downloaded Dreams for the first time in years to play that fan-made Banjo-Kazooie level, and it was really good. It's like so much better than it has any right to be. Like, it was so good that it was depressing because it was like, man, just with some effort from Xbox, they could really have something special in their hands with this. It's like Xbox goes like they look at Astrobot and they're like, what is Astrobot winning Game of the Year? Why are we not winning Game of the Year? It's like, hey, dude, you have like multiple franchises that you can bring out to compete with PlayStation and Nintendo, and yet you're just like sitting on your ass. Now, there is that rumor that Spyro 4 is coming back from Toys for Bob, which is very good. But I hate that it's taken them this long, and Activision thought it was a good idea to put Toys for Bob in the fucking Call of Duty mines for all those years. Like, what a giant waste of time. Just so stupid. I fucking hate parts of this industry, man. So stupid. Mario Odyssey on Switch 1. Mario Odyssey sold me on the Switch 1 for my case rager. Yeah, oh, me too. I was a customer since the GameCube and continued up until here, stopping at Switch 1 as of here. No, that's fair. Hell, Fire Emblem still one of Nintendo's flagship RPGs. Three Houses is still a top selling Switch title. I don't like Fire Emblem. It's not my thing at all, but I can respect, that Nintendo is still supporting it. They have a loyal fan base. I would have to talk to people who are like really into Fire Emblem, but I've not really heard any indication that they have dumbed the series down to try to make it appeal more to masses or something like that. Like, they have the spin-off Musou game, I think, or like a couple of them at this point, maybe. But that's really the extent, I guess, of them trying to dumb down Fire Emblem to make it appeal more to masses. But it's not like some other series where they have really like stripped them of their niche to try to be like mass market appeal. Like what I'm sure, I mean, Skyrim is already like a like I love Skyrim, by the way. I adore Skyrim. I adore Oblivion. They are very like much more casualized versions of Morrowind. And then I can't even imagine a more casual mass market blob appeal version of Elder Scrolls than Skyrim. What they're going to do with Elder Scrolls 6. It's like, my god. Like, I love Elder Scrolls. I loved Oblivion and Skyrim are like two of my favorite games of all time. I have such fond memories of those games. But I just, at this point, I just can't bring myself to be excited about Elder Scrolls 6, and it makes me very sad. I think it was like playing Starfield that really just sealed the deal, and I was like, man, these guys just don't have it anymore. I don't, and they're so goddamn arrogant to the point where they're not going to listen. I know what they're going to do. They're not going to listen to feedback. They're not going to take like people's criticisms into account. They're just going to fucking plug up their ears and keep just doing the same shit they've been doing the last like when did Skyrim come out? 2011. So the last like 14 years now, 15 as of the end of next year. So anyway, hard to believe that Gollum is UE4 but looks awful compared to Stray. Well, I mean, anyone can make a game engine out of anything. I mean, Cuphead runs on Unity, and there are some like garbage ass looking Unity games out there. Many garbage looking Unity games out there. But Cuphead is one of the most beautiful games I've played in the last 15 years. And that runs on Unity and it looks amazing. I would say it's more just about like the talent of the developer and what they can do with the engine. I'm also not going to install that AI that Sony is apparently trying to patent. I mean, the problem is if you buy a PS6, you might not have a choice because it might come like baked into the console, unfortunately. Switch 2 owners were spared by Black Slop 7 not coming. Yeah, I mean, didn't like Phil Spencer say that they were gonna release more games, more Xbox games for the Switch and Switch 2? Wasn't that something that he like said at the FTC trial or something like that? Phil Spencer said a bunch of garbage, just dumb shit things that haven't happened. But yeah, I know there are a few games that have come to the Switch from Xbox, but nothing like crazy that was gonna like I don't think Halo got announced for the Switch 2. I don't think Gears of War is on the Switch 2. Forza definitely will not come to the Switch 2. I would be really surprised if Forza Horizon 5 or 6 were to come to the Switch 2. That would just be like that'd be weird. It'd be cool, but it would be strange to see Halo on Switch, like Master Chief running around on a Nintendo console. Kind of interesting. It's already weird seeing him running around on a PlayStation console, but seeing him on a Nintendo console, that would be even weirder. Don't forget the giant soldier memes from Black Ops 7. Yes, there actually is a mission with a giant soldier. What the fuck? See, I saw that in the trailer. Like that was the like I saw that, and then there was like one other thing that one of my least favorite Call of Duty games ever is Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's because of how much like dumb over the top science fiction Inception style crap they put into that campaign, to the point where it has absolutely nothing to do with like the tone or like the vibe of Black Ops 1 and 2. It's like I didn't ask for Call of Duty to turn into like Inception where you're like shooting like hornets out of your hand like you just like playing BioShock or something. Like, no, that's not what I want from Call of Duty. So to see at the end of that Xbox presentation last summer them showing off Black Ops 7, and it looks again like the same stupid Inception crap from Black Ops 3, I was like, nope, no thank you. I'm good. I don't need to play this. I don't want to play this. This is just gonna piss me off like Black Ops 3 did. So I don't want to play it. I have heard that Black Ops 5 and 6 are good. The campaigns of those are good. I think I have Black Ops 5 on PS5. I think they gave it away as one of the free games one month. And then Black Ops 6, don't think they have. I doubt they will because it's Game Pass, but or Xbox owns it now. I doubt they will, but I'd have to go and play Black Ops 5 to kind of see. It's been a long time since I played a Call of Duty campaign. I don't think I've played one since Modern Warfare 2019. I think that was the last time I played a Call of Duty campaign. I have heard the one for Modern Warfare 2 is really good, so I would like to play that one. And then Modern Warfare 3, I watched one the new Modern Warfare 3. I watched one of my friends play it, and I was stunned by how weak it was. Like really stunned by how weak and pathetic it was. Even the Suikoden remaster that they did, which sold pretty well. Game ports, I was glad that Switch One got, were the first Demon Slayer game and Stray. Full ungimped near base 8th gen quality and performance on a system. It's nuts what devs do to dig into the ARM CPU meta. Yeah, I mean that's what a good programmer metal I meant, but character limit. No, you're good. It's cool what they can do when you have good talented programmers on hand. I mean, there's like so many games that have come out that should not run as well as they do on certain systems. But these game companies have like really, really good programmers at the helm that are just really damn talented, and they can just run miracles on whatever system they're working on. I mean, you look at like The Witcher 3 on the Switch. Now it's obviously a compromised version compared to the console, especially the PC version, but The Witcher 3 running well on a handheld console, especially something as weak as the original Switch, is something that should not be possible. But they found a way to do it, and that's incredible. That's talent. That takes real talent to do that. Many newer PS4, Xbox One, PS5 games do not support or get patch support. No, a lot of them don't for the Pro systems and the X systems. Some do. I'd say the most noteworthy, the obvious missing one for like PS4 is Bloodborne on that end. That's the obvious one that's missing. But besides that, I think a lot of the big ones have already gotten that support. I'm coming to loathe the word slop because it's just being thrown around way too much at times. I would agree with that. I like the word. I like the way it sounds. I like the word slop. I just think it's. I don't want to be like. I don't usually say things like this, but I was saying slop before slop started to be used more. But a lot of people use slop in the general sense with like AI. I was saying like slop like pigs. I would always compare it with like pig slop. That was one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite insults when I talk about like something in a video game. I just say like, "What is this pig slop?" It's just that sentence is always funny to me, just because I think the words pig slop put together are very funny. I like Pragmata, but it's definitely niche. The puzzle stuff is pretty fast, surprisingly. Okay, I will have to give it. But I like you saying that it's niche. That gives me a little more excitement to check it out. You know what? I'm not gonna play it on stream, but let me see. Cause I recently just cleaned up my storage space. Like I deleted some old videos that I had as like backups on my computer because they're like it's not necessary to keep all of them. Is it still on Steam? Before I forget, let me check if it is. Did they remove it? No, they did not. Pragmata sketchbook demo. How many gigabytes? Oh, 7 gigabytes. I'll do it. That's fine. There you go. So I'll have that while I'm streaming. Do you find it rather odd that Ubisoft, despite getting back the Avatar license for that recent Avatar game, we did not see a remaster of the previous Ubisoft Avatar game from 2009? I'm not surprised because I don't think that game was very well received. And I think Ubisoft would rather, correctly, in my opinion, be wise to put more of their resources into the newer Avatar game. I've never played the newer Avatar. I don't like Avatar as a franchise. I will never ever understand the appeal that franchise has. Especially like for the amount of money that it makes. It's like insane to me how much money those movies make. Like I don't get it at all. Because I just think those movies are like so mediocre. Or I thought the first one was like and that second one was so boring that I was like, I am not watching any more of these after this. Where it's like the first like hour and a half to 2 hours of Avatar 2 feels like all it is just these blue monkey people swimming with dolphins and then like plugging their penis hairs into like literally every living organism they can find. Like I just that as a concept, I can't take that seriously where they're saying all these mystical things about Awa or whatever the hell their goddess is called. And then they go, let's communicate with Awa by taking our hair and plugging our like penis tentacle thing that we have into it and plugging it into like a whale that we're gonna ride, or plugging our penis hair into a dolphin, or plugging our penis hair into a tree. It's like, this is so funny. Like I can't take, it's like it takes me completely out of it when I see something like that. And then in the last one, I don't know how many people saw Avatar, but in the last one, they had like a thing where Sigourney Weaver was playing a like teenage girl who is like has a crush on like a 14-year-old human boy. So you have like this blue cat teenager with the face of like modern Sigourney Weaver holding hands with a human boy. And I'm like, this is so creepy. Like, I don't like, what is this shit? Like, I don't know how people can take this seriously. Like, it's so creepy. I hate it. Like, it looks so creepy. But I don't get it with that franchise. I'm surprised it actually, because I don't think the Avatar game sold as well as it did, like when they first released it. I think only now that they've added a third person mode and it's kind of tied in with Avatar 3, whatever, Fire and Ash, or whatever the fuck it's called, the new one. I think only now is that game really finding like success. Because I think that game paired up with Star Wars Outlaws was a big reason why Ubisoft had that like really bad year, where they then had to like reorganize their organization by spinning off Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six Siege into its own separate entity company that Tencent has a 25% stake in. So, anywho, that's about Avatar. Metal Gear Solid 4 is still stuck on PS3. Yes, that is one of the biggest crimes for the gaming community, that Metal Gear Solid 4 is still stuck on the PS3. I do not know how Konami have not made a, like, even during the PS4 era, I get that they wanted to like get rid of Kojima and not fuck with him at all, and try to butcher like Metal Gear as much as possible. But now that they've seemed to like get their head out of their ass and are actually like trying to make decent games again, it's like, hey, it would kind of behoove you to maybe finally do a proper, not a remake. I don't want to see a remake of Metal Gear 4 with like UE5 like, I don't want to see that. I just want to see the original Metal Gear 4 with the original art direction, everything. Just give it a 60 frames version, put it on PS5, put it on PC, give it mouse and keyboard support, do the whole 9 yards with it, get it out there. So, but knowing Konami, I don't know. I figured they were going to do like Metal Gear Solid 4 HD remaster as part of the Metal Gear Collection Volume 2, which they called it Volume 1 the first time around, so I would assume there's a Volume 2 in the works, unless Konami wants to do both an HD version that's up-resed and 60 frames and put that on PS5 and modern consoles and PC, and then do Metal Gear Solid 4 remake. I mean, granted, they could have the best of both worlds, and I would have a significantly less problem with that compared to something like Silent Hill 2 Remake. As good as Silent Hill 2 Remake is, I am still annoyed that you can't legally play Silent Hill 2 like easily, like the original version of it. You have to go fucking emulate it, and then you have to download a fan-made mod for it that makes it like the best version it could possibly be. Konami makes a shitload of money. There's no reason why they can't do that. No reason why. It's just pure laziness. Pure just, I don't know what the fuck, like, on that long. I don't think it's gonna be for long, Shinobi. I hope so too. I really want that game to be free of the PS3 jail. So, Toys R Bob would do Banjo-Kazooie justice. I think they would. I would rather see them do Banjo-Kazooie than Spyro. Hell, I'll take Spyro 4 from Toys for Bob, because Toys for Bob are just a really, really talented mascot platformer studio. I didn't play a whole lot of Crash 4, but from what I did play, I liked it. And I thought, okay, so let's see these guys do Spyro 4 next. And then, of course, Activision Blizzard comes in all their infinite wisdom and tells Toys for Bob, you did such a great job on that Crash 4 game. It's unfortunate that now, because we have to get Call of Duty out faster, you're going to have to go get sent to the Call of Duty mines. Sorry, we're just going to have Crash and Spyro rot in our vault now. for the end of until the end of time itself. And I will say, with as much shit as I talk about Xbox, I'm glad that Xbox did free them from the mines. They no longer work directly for Activision. They're their own separate indie company now that are working with Xbox on like a contract basis for a mysterious game that I'm sure is Spyro 4, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that when you have it and it's been proven that mascot platformers can sell? Ones not named Mario can sell very well. Look at Astrobot. But it's worth mentioning is the Switch one was very good at 2D and 2.5D like Sega Saturn, but struggle on high-end 3D from the era unless devs dig into the metal. Tencent, yuck, yeah. Funny considering Konami is big into re-releases these days. Yeah, I mean, Konami deserves shit for some of the things that they've done with Metal Gear 3 Remake and Silent Hill 2 Remake, but I think their collections for the most part have actually been pretty good. Not like, I don't think they've been Capcom good. I think Capcom is the gold standard still for a lot of these like collection packs of older games, especially the amount of effort that Capcom has put into their fighting game collections. Plus things like the like Mega Man collections and the Ace Attorney various collections they have are really, really good. But Konami have actually been doing a pretty good job on that front too. I mean, you have like the Suikoden ones, which I heard are good. The Castle, I'm trying to remember which Castlevanias were bundled together, but I heard they did a pretty good job with those two. And I think there's another collection. Oh, the Yu-Gi-Oh, the Yu-Gi-Oh collection, I think. Like the early days, I think it's called. Or it has a few of those games that I used to play on the Game Boy when I was a kid. So, I mean, they're not Capcom, they're not quite there as far as Capcom level with the collection. But I liked it. I liked what I've played of like the collections from Capcom, but I need to go back and I probably never will. It's like I'll be honest, like I liked some of those early Yu-Gi-Oh games. They're fun, but I just don't. I'm really not at a point in my life right now where I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go play Yu-Gi-Oh again. In fact, is it even out? It's probably a dumb question, but it's out on Nintendo, isn't it? The Switch, because that would be like that would be the obvious way if you have access to it to play the early days collection. Yeah, it's on Switch. Okay, of course it is. Oh, that's the only console that it's on. Oh wow, okay. So it's only on PC and Switch. Let's see. Mixed reviews who praise the collection's preservational aspects and amount of content, but criticize the games themselves for their slow gameplay. Okay, so they did a good job on the collections front. But really the main one that I would play from this collection would be Eternal Duelist Soul, which is a game that I really enjoyed on the Game Boy Advance. That's really like the main one. There's the other one called Duel of the Roses. I think that's what it was called. I played that. I don't remember if I ever played this Dungeon Dice Monster game that's in the collection. But I had they tried making Dungeon Dice Monsters. This is like really deep cut Yu-Gi-Oh lore, but they like at the end of season 1, they really tried making Dungeon Dice Monsters a thing. It didn't really take like the card game did, but I actually had a soft spot for Dungeon Dice Monsters. I liked it. I understand why it didn't take with a lot of like big Yu-Gi-Oh people like me at the time. But I had like a physical set of the Dungeon Dice Monsters game. Like I remember playing it. Like my dad got me the Dungeon Dice Monsters stuff because there used to be this near his shop. There used to be this card game shop that I would go to pick up Yu-Gi-Oh cards and pick up stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh. And they had the Dungeon Dice Monsters set when it first released, and my dad bought it for me. I think it was like $50 or $60 at the time. And this is back then, like, there are so many different packs now that are out there and available. Then they like you open the cards in them that are just like, what even is this? Like, I used to be like a Yu-Gi-Oh nut when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school. And I look at Yu-Gi-Oh cards now and I go, what the hell are these people even talking about? Like, what is all this? Like, I can't make sense of it. But I go back and I play like the original Yu-Gi-Oh. I could probably go back and like play the original version of Yu-Gi-Oh and probably like still be pretty good at it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should pick up maybe I should pick up um what is it? I wish you could just buy Eternal Duelist Soul separately and like do that, and then I would like play it on stream and see if my early days skills are up to snuff, son. I'd probably lose horribly, but I miss those like old starter packs that you could buy. Like they had the like Yu-Gi-Oh, Kaiba, Joey, and Pegasus starter packs. And I remember like Pegasus' deck being one of my favorites because of just how weird it was. With you had like the tune cards, and then you had that like weird like that one like Thousand Eyes Idol, Thousand Eyes Restrict. What's the other one? There was like the one that was like the really like weird creature that had like the long eye, and it would like suck Yugi's like monsters into itself. Relinquished. There we go. It was called Relinquished. And it would like suck like the Dark Magician into itself. And so like anytime Yu-Gi-Oh attacked it, he'd be attacking his own monsters and he'd get the life points taken away. Like stuff like that. I was like, man, this deck is so cool because it's so broken. But it's like of course of like it makes sense because of course Pegasus, who invented the game, would of course make a deck for himself that is busted as shit. And that's why it was so cool in that like finale to not the finale to season 1, but like the final duel in that arc of Yugi finally getting there and having that big like 5-episode duel with Pegasus. That's why it was so cool to see Yugi find a loophole in there and like beat Pegasus. Like that like to me, watching that like that final episode of that 5-episode arc as a kid, when I finally got to see Yugi beat Pegasus, I was like, holy shit, like this is like I would equate it to seeing like the final Harry Potter movie for me, like years later. That's like how I would, or like the finale to Avatar: The Last Airbender or something like that, where it's like, oh my god, I get to see this big thing that I've waited years to see, and it's like it lives up to my expectations. It's so cool. It's unfortunate what ended up happening after the Battle City stuff with like, or Return of the King, yeah, exactly. Like with the seal of Orichalcos, which all that crap I really hated. But it was so cool. Like I loved Yu-Gi-Oh. I read like the manga. I read like the really weird dark mangas that were like, it was like Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero or something like that, where Kaiba built this theme park that he would like try to murder people in. It was like really weird if you want to go check that out. Anyway, I'm going to finish the stream with these final few comments. So I apologize if anyone says any more beyond what David said with Return of the King. I'm not going to be able to get to you today unless it's quick, but I need to finish up soon. Yu-Gi-Oh was actually my first manga too. It wasn't my first manga, but it was like that was like that and Dragon Ball were probably like my gateway drugs into anime. Like those two, like as far back as I can remember, were like my gateway drugs into anime. Funny that M2 uses no AI for Haunted Castle Revisited and Salamander 3. Microsoft Activision used god awful AI with more money and team size. Well, it's because they're cost saving. That's why Microsoft wants to use AI everywhere. And also because they have Copilot, which they want Copilot to be like a thing, like a very common thing in their game development under studios, and Gen AI, which is like ugh. Toys for Bob did wonders for the Switch One versions of both Crash Insane Trilogy and Crash 4 release. Yeah, Toys for Bob is a killer ass studio. Like I really really like them. I'm glad they're free of the Call of Duty mines. Astrobot, anyone? Yeah, I bought Rehydrated since I never played the original. It's fine so far. Oh, is that SpongeBob game? Like I've tried the last. I don't remember which SpongeBob game I tried last. I think it was Battle for Bikini Bottom. Maybe that was the rehydrated version, but I remember just being like, okay. And I love SpongeBob from back in the day. I don't know. SpongeBob games are just not something I've ever really gotten into. So Tim Kaine is back at Obsidian. I know he said to guess, but it'd be cool if Microsoft let him remaster update Arcanum, since he still has the source code. Hey man, I anything that Tim Kaine can do at Obsidian to like get them kind of back on track to making like more like weird niche things, I'm all for it. What is it? Like I know this is the thing with Xbox. It's like the obvious thing is to have them do Fallout New Vegas. And this is like a weird convergence point that, and this is how bad Microsoft's project management is, or like their ideas team are. Like they're so stupid and they're so lacking in imagination. Where sometimes fans want the thing, but the thing like won't make a lot of money for the publisher, so it doesn't happen a lot of the time, unless it's like Capcom or Nintendo. And then you'll have the other thing where a publisher will come up with an idea for a game or something that will generate a lot of money but won't appeal much to like the niche audience that the studio was kind of once known for. This is kind of like a best of both worlds scenario where it's like the two Venn diagrams it's like that perfect middle ground where you have something that fans really 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 want, and you have the company has the capabilities to do it. Like they really really they have it. They own Fallout, they own Obsidian, they own Bethesda. Fans want New Vegas 2. Fans want new Fallout game from Obsidian. Get like good writers in there, have them like make New Vegas 2, stuff like that. Or hell, just remaster New Vegas. Do something like that. You had a season of Fallout that came out like a couple weeks ago. First episode premiere a couple weeks ago. I still haven't watched it yet, but you had a perfect opportunity to strike while the iron was hot, like blazing hot, to release Fallout New Vegas, like something new, like a remaster or something, like anything to get it out there. And yet Microsoft is just so dumb to the point where when it came time to do like their big like Fallout Day or whatever, the only thing that happened was that they released a vanilla version of the PC version of New Vegas with like a new statue. It's like, what? A statue? Like that's all you've got? That's it? Like there was no reason to do an Oblivion remaster before doing a New Vegas one. There was literally no reason. And yet that's like the thing that they wanted to do over a Fallout New Vegas or a sequel or something. It's like, the people running the management at like Xbox and Bethesda, it's like, holy shit, like what a bunch of fucking Muppets. Just like so dumb. Let's see, Duels of the Roses on PS2. Yes, I remember playing that on the PS2. Do you know that Yu-Gi-Oh has Konami themed cards for Castlevania Gradius for obvious reasons? Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Played WC 2005 on the GBA. This will be the final one from Nero. It's a shame what happened to the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh. It really is. That was like such a sad like that really like broke my heart when I found out what happened to him, or he like drowned, basically. It was really, that was so sad. I mean, it's just like gone like way too soon. I forget like how old. I need to look. How old was he? He was 60. Okay. Yeah, that's way too young. Like way too young. And I think I think he was, I think they said he was caught in a riptide or something, like a rip current or something like that, while he was snorkeling. I think they even said that he was trying to rescue other people when he died, which is like, that is like extra tragic. That he was like trying to, that's like extra sad. He was trying to help other people and rescue them, and yet he ended up drowning himself. Like, it's so, that is so sad. So anyway, that's, I hate to end the stream on such a sad note like that, but that is all I have time for today. I only have, yeah, it's been almost 2 hours, but I gotta get ready for stuff tonight. So anyway, thank you to everyone who came by. Thank you again for another year of the channel. Thank you all for being here throughout the year. This will be the final bit of content for 2025. And thank you to everyone who has watched throughout the year, making 2025, in my opinion, one of the best years on the channel. And then specifically for this stream, thank you, Sonic. Thank you, David. Thank you, Red Riot Robot. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Shinobi Gaming HD. Thank you, Nero. Thank you, Menos. And thank you, XYZ. I think that's it. I apologize if I missed out on anyone. I'm doing like another quick look through. But yeah, look for Cream of the Crop on New Year's Day as the first video of the year. And then I already have the next video after that in the bag for the 8th. And after that, I'm thinking about doing an updated version of the analyzing PlayStation's next live services, because I have new things to say about Marathon. And then I also want to give my take on where I think Marvel Tokon and that new, like, the 4 Loop game that they announced at the Game Awards, how those are gonna go. And just talking about, because I played, I got to participate in one of the Marvel Tokon beta weekends, so I have thoughts on that. And then I signed up for 4 Loops playtests through Steam. So if I get into that, I doubt I will. I don't know when they're going to open that up, but I signed up for that. So if I get into that, then I will have thoughts on that by the time the video comes out. And if I don't, then I don't. But I still have things to say about 4 Loop. So anyway, thank you all for coming by. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. And I will see you all in 2026. Have a good one, everyone. Goodbye.